I know that you actually have a connection to some pro wrestlers. I read in Daniel Bryan's book that you actually lived with him and Shinsuke Nakamura way back in the day. Do you have any memories of that?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was in 2003 in Japan in Shinihon Pro Wrestling Academy in Tokyo. So it was a very good moment for me in terms of learning. So I learned so many things, not only about fighting, but about life. You know, I was by myself. I wasn't married that moment. I didn't have any kids, and I stayed with those people for almost 6 months. And I was there and lived there, eat there, train with them sometimes. It was a very good moment, and I have good memory for me because I'm so grateful to have a chance to pass in this academy and made so many friendships.
Oh, we saw we saw Nakamura move from MMA to pro wrestling. Was pro wrestling something that you had considered doing as well?
Oh, that's not I wanna. I don't wanna do pro wrestling, so I trained it then. I trained it there back in the days, but it's not something that I really appreciate. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
I respect. I like to watch sometimes, but I don't like to do it.
Uh, Daniel Bryan had actually said that you and Shinsuke Nakamura had like some really competitive. I don't want to say battles, but had like some competitive nature between you two. Do you remember anything like it? What was that experience like? And was there ill
No,
will
because
between? Go ahead.
no, because you know what happened. So in that moment, Nakamura he just got in the Shinhon Pro Wrestling, and me too. And Inoki-san, which was the owner of the company, he kind of wants to promote both of us. And I more in MMA and Shinsuke Nakamura more in pro wrestling. But there is a kind of competition between us, but it's not really happened. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we just had a respect between each other, and sometimes we train together, but nothing more than this. And I admire Shinsuke Nakamura in his brilliant career that he has, and that's it.
Do you ever keep in touch with those guys? When's the last time you would have heard from any of those guys?
The only guy, no, Japanese guy, I didn't have any contacts at all because I moved to Brazil, they moved to the United States. I didn't have any contacts. So I see Brian, no Brian, because he has a very good career.
Yeah.
So I heard that he already retired and he wrote a book and everything. He was we used to live together here in Santa Monica in a small apartment, and we shared some apartment here. And we had a great times there. Sometimes we discussed about some things. We had a conversation. He was a pretty nice guy, and I respect him, and it was great to meet this guy.
So as you look back on that experience, obviously you'll see people who have great careers. Does it surprise you looking back that all three of you met such great success? I mean, that's a ton of talent in one house.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm so grateful to be there, to have a chance to be there, and so happy to see all these legend fighters, in different activities. So they are fighting pro wrestling, and I'm so happy to see their success. So especially Brian, because one day I was watching TV and I saw Brian was yelling. He was with beard, and the moment that I met him, I didn't recognize him at the right way. So after that, I saw, hey, I used to live with this guy. It's a Brian, such a nice guy, and he was so successful here in pro wrestling. Great. I was so happy because of that.
Obviously, Antonio Inoki is a huge legend in pro wrestling, and there's the video of the Inoki slap after I believe it was the fight in maybe 2000. Uh, did when that happened, did that surprise you, or is that kind of the thing that you knew was coming? It's rumored that that's a sign of respect from Antonio Inoki.
So actually, they slapped from Antonio Inoki. Every Japanese guy, they want to be slapped from Antonio Inoki because it's a story. There was a story in Japan that he slapped the face a little guy, a little boy, and the guy had a very success in his career. So, and nowadays, every Japanese guy wants to have to be slapped from by Antonio Inoki because they want to be successful. And I didn't expect in that moment because I was seeing that he was slapping in front of me a lot of guys, Fujita-san, Japanese guy, Kazuhiko Fujita, who fought Fyodor Emelianenko back in the days. But I didn't expect in that moment, you know what I mean? Like, I was just there to bound him, and suddenly he just slapped my face 3 times. And because of that, maybe I had a success in my career.
Now, I know that you've also mentioned that pro wrestling isn't something you're that interested in doing. Have you had any offers? Because, I mean, there is a major crossover there.
No, not at all. So since I left from Japan, so I put all my focus in MMA. I believe that everybody saw that, and I didn't have any offer to fight in pro wrestling. And it was that.
Now, for this fight with Chael Sonnen, you're moving back to light heavyweight. How is your body responding to that after being at middleweight for so long?
So even when I was in middleweight or in 205, I have weight. I was weight the same, So when I used to fight in 205, I weighed like 218, sometimes 220. It's very rare to be 220, but sometimes it depends of the way the period, the time. Depends of the time of my training. Sometimes I'm 220, but it's not very common. But when I used to fight 185, I used to weigh like almost the same. 96 kilos means like 215, a little bit like 5 pounds over, like that. So it's not a big difference. The only difference is when you have to cut weight. So when you have to cut weight, I'm very worried to make the weight. That's why I try to decrease my weight little by little. When I get in the week of the fight, I don't have to cut a lot of weight. But it's hard because sometimes when you want to put some weight after the weighting, you're not able to do that, because at least myself.
If you had your choice, which would you compete for, the middleweight title or the light heavyweight title?
I'm very, I'm not going to say ambitious, but I could say that in a good way. So I would like to fight both. So I know that I still have something to do, man. I still have I still have energy. I still have will, which is more important than everything. And I'm not tired of that. You know what I mean? I like to train every day. I like to challenge myself. That's why I'm so, I cannot say selfish, but I want to be a champion. I want to be a champion again. If I can have 2 belts, it's going to be great, man.
Now, a lot of people look back at your record and they see that before you even got to the UFC, you had fought Rich Franklin, Stephan Bonner, BJ Penn, all Hall of Famers. When you got to the UFC, did that surprise you that so many of the guys that you fought and beat ended up being Hall of Fame caliber guys?
Being what? Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I mean, like you were facing guys that would be in the Hall of Fame before you even got into the UFC. Did that surprise you that so many of those guys ended up there and not just? Go ahead.
Yeah, because before I fight in UFC, I was fighting in Brazil in different events, and my friends came up to me and said, "Lyoto, Rich Frank, he's a middleweight champion in UFC. Stephan Bonner is a light heavyweight, so everybody you already beat, they are there making money, make success, and you are here, man." I said, "Hey, what I can do? What I can do? So I cannot do anything. I just have to wait my turn. So when my turn is coming, I'll capitalize on that, and that's what happened. So suddenly my manager, Ed Soares and George Guimarães, he invited me to have a chance to fight in WFA, a different event here, is more organization. Then WFA failed. When they failed, UFC bought the contract, and I moved to UFC, and I was so happy, and I could recognize all of them up there: BJ Penn, Stefan Bonner, Rich Frankie, and it was good for me.
Lyoto Machida facing Chael Sonnen, Bellator 222, Friday, June 14th on DAZN. Lyoto, thank you so much for taking the time and for talking a little bit of pro wrestling with us. I appreciate you doing that.
No problem, man. Thank you for the opportunity to remind me a good moment in my life.